So I would first thank the organizers and in special Professor Penati for giving us and me the opportunity to talk a little bit about the feed industry's objective. Where do we want to go to? UFITech, I don't know if you know the name. It's a European Feed Technology Center. And in fact, it's an initiative of feed industry associations together with research institutes and together with universities. It was launched in September 2008 with a vision document on feed industry. And the mission is quite clear. We want to support feed sector bound and steered technological innovation through harmonized innovative research. And we want to base this on existing know-how. Give you a small look on different partners of this UFITech. And just to tell just a few little things more. What did we do, or what did UFITech organization did? That is, in 2008, a questionnaire was launched in, I think, 7 or 8 different languages, sent all over Europe to feed industry companies, compound industries, premixture companies, with, I don't know, it was 10 pages or more, I think. And what we really wanted to do, that was we want to know what kept the feed industry busy at that time and still today. What are the focal points? Because if you want to be sector steered, then you have to know the focal points of the industry. And so I think it's clear, they will be mentioned a lot during these sessions, I think, and they are mentioned in past, will be mentioned in the future. That is sustainable feed and environment, reduction of emissions, byproduct utilization, new protein, energy resources, etc. Certainly feed and food quality and safety, as you said, this horse problem, it's in fact, it's not a, it's a safety, it's a labeling question, it's a lot of it, and we are really in the middle of it in Europe. But here we talk about a lot of things, a lot of problems which can affect, and you focus on animal health. If you talk about mycotoxins, for example, if you talk about the transfer of coccidiostats during feed production, which is a huge issue every day, every second, every moment that a batch of feed is produced. So cross-contamination, we are really awake for this. Emergent contaminants, which some things we don't know yet, some things we might discover tomorrow, I hope not, be sure. But you never know what's behind the door of a feed company. No. And then also production unit management, because also this is very, for feed industry, it's very important. You have the employee safety, occupational health, dust explosion prevention, for example, and then of course the energy management. I don't know, I will not spend a lot of time for the importance of feed production, because you all know, 5 million EU farmers, more or less, a turnover of 130 billion euros of animals for food production, and animal breeding takes about, I think, 40% of the complete agriculture business in Europe. And there is 450 million tons of feed yearly consumed by these animals. Types, feed materials, feed additives, compound feed and medicated feed, but indeed 150 million tons a year of compound feed, which is a lot to produce. It is important because we know, as you see here, that an average of 30 or 35% of the value of purchased compound feed is found in animal output. So it's a lot. If you look for poultry, it's more than 80%. Okay, and EU feed sector is really an important global player, as with his 150 million tons a year, it's really one of the most important producers in the world. What is the objective, the overall objective of the EU feed industry? That is, of course, a sustainable competitiveness, the sustainable competitiveness of the EU life sector. Sustainable feed is one of the things we want to produce. Competitive feed is important, and safe feed. So we want to focus on three important things: sustainability, competitive, and safe. The targets for 2030. What I now will introduce to you is a small overview of the strategic research and innovation agenda that UFITEC launched on the 1st of February. So it's really fresh. It's our, let's say, our gift, our input in a global or a total European concept placed within the Animal Task Force, which is next to feed industry also has like aqua feed, also animal health is in it, also the Farmers Association like Fabre is in it. So all wanted to write down their goals, their objectives for the 2030 Europe agenda. Maybe to influence Europe to finance research in this area. So this could be quite important document. Targets for 2030. I just give one example to introduce this, and I took this from the internet. It's a US document, or it comes from a United States document. Trends in dairy cattle milk productivity for 4 major milk producing regions. And the regions are Europe 6, the Euro 6 is the Netherlands, Germany, UK, Poland, France and Italy, which are mentioned to be the most milk producing countries in Europe. And then New Zealand, Canada and United States. I mentioned here, if you talk about productivity or if you talk about performance, whatever, you find a lot of figures on the internet, and they all are main figures. In every region you have the best and you have the worst cases. The very best can be compared, I think, all over these regions as they are mentioned here. There is a wide gap between the worst and the best case. Why this gap exists? That is because next to research you have a very important other issue, that is knowledge transfer. Bringing this knowledge, if you have a lot of researchers gathered here together today, the most important thing what we have to do is take this knowledge to the farmer, take this knowledge to the floor, that everybody use this knowledge to get into this indeed healthy feed for healthy animals and also for healthy food. So we can go up in a lot of things, but taking in mind good research and good knowledge transfer. Sorry. Okay, there are some targets for 2030 mentioned. I will not go in a lot of detail, but one of them is maintain and improve feed resource efficiency. If we talk about feed conversion rate, and we see that over the last 30 or 40 years, we have, let's say, an input which is decreased from a 2.2 kilogram feed need for 1 kilogram of animal product, up to less than 1.8, which is extremely high. And even now today, in optimal conditions, we know that this feed conversion ratio can still be better. Only we have to find the things how to do it and do research on it. Optimization of animal health via nutrition. We all know here that gut health is very important. That gut health is animal health, is good for animal welfare. We have a lot of ways, a lot of methods to enhance this animal gut health. So knowledge can help to employ the nutritional strategies. Don't forget the greenhouse gas emissions, the carbon footprint of our animal products. It starts with feed formulation. It starts with feed production. Of course, it's not a problem of feed production and animal breeding. It's the problem of the complete feed production chain from crop growing up to feed, up to animal production. And then the reduction of nitrogen and phosphorus in feed to reduce emissions. We know as researchers that these goals indeed, by putting amino acids in the feed, for one case, to reduce nitrogen, and the use of phytase since I think the early 90s, really an enzyme which is still exploding, keeping in mind all those large companies which are putting huge amounts on the market of phytase, that really we can see that this research and this use of these enzymes, next to maybe other enzymes as NSP, can do a lot for the environment. The fifth thing is resource depletion, with a focus on aquafeed, because aquafeed is also important. And if we talk about resource depletion on aquafeed, we know that, for example, some years ago we had a huge input of wild fish just to produce 1 kilogram of fish, consumable fish. And now it's reached amounts which are already a lot lower than this, I think 0.3 or 0.4, and it can be normally lower inputs can be achieved. So I put a summary of the targets for 2030, lower the FCR, those 30% and reduction of greenhouse gases as 20%, etc. They seem to be maybe rather high. But remember what I said, you have the best and you have the worst. There are already companies which have a very good reduction, for example, in emissions and GHG, and with a very good feed conversion ratio. But we have to go to the mean value of it. And then our strategic and innovation agenda, UFITEX agenda to get these targets. You know our priorities: optimizing nutrient resource efficiency, healthy animals for healthy humans, and socially responsible livestock farming. And what we need is research and knowledge transfer. Those 3 priority areas are translated in 10 objectives for this strategic research. I will not go in detail on this. It would take me a long way to end, but I don't think that any of these things would need any explanation. Increasing nutrient use efficiency and optimizing the delivery of nutrients to animals is for the first topic. Then healthy animals, we really need to understand the complexity of interactions in the gut. Developing customized feeding strategies based on animal health status, very important. Improving knowledge on the impact of feed processing, for example, on gut health. Also there is some lack of knowledge we still have to fill in. And then, of course, predicting, controlling and reducing feed hazards today and in the future. Socially responsible priority. Adapting and developing new feeding strategies to meet animal welfare challenges. Reducing, of course, the livestock footprint. Exploring and developing alternative sustainable protein sources. As I'm very happy that the following speaker will talk about use of insects, so it couldn't be better to explain. And then exploring and developing alternative sources of energy. I don't talk about energy like a windmill. I talk about energy like now we know that the crops where we get the energy, everybody is talking about animal protein sources, but energy sources as cereals, for example, or byproducts from fuel, etc., are as important as other protein sources. Okay, conclusions. You can read them. We think, and I hope you are convinced, that the feed sector is really a very important sector, a key role player in animal production. And together with research, nutritionists, etc., we can do a lot to enhance animal production. There are a lot of challenges and responsibilities which I know that you all agree on, I think. If you want to read more, if you want to read the complete text, I would say please go to the UFITEC website. You find here documents, and under the topic of other documents you find this press release, our vision document, and the strategic research and innovation agenda. So thank you for your attention.